Welcome to Saturday Chat. Easy for me to say, I guess. This is hopefully going to be about it for me in the national. I wanted to decompress for a week, get a week of work in. I didn't have a buffer day. I got home at 9:20 in the parking lot at 9:20 of my apartment Monday night and went to work Tuesday. I worked second shift, so I went in at 3. So not much downtime of relaxing, bringing in, unpacking my car, kind of, letting the guys know that I stayed with. I was home. I called my parents, things like that. By that time, it just unpacking some of the stuff, you're still adrenaline's running. You want to see your stuff that you got and kind of laid it out. And then by that time, it hit me. I went and passed out. Slept pretty good. But I wanted to do this kind of a video. I want to break this up into parts. This first part is things that I just didn't like about it. And I want to get this over with and behind me. And just, the first thing was the heat in there. This is the second year that they've done this and had the same issues. I heard dealers, a conversation that they had. They were talking to each other about, they weren't hiding it. This was Wednesday. One of them talked to one of the people that work at the center. Yes, they were having problems with their air conditioning units. Now, is it because it was hot outside? Yes, but air conditioning units at a place like that are made for temperatures, and it wasn't extreme outside by any means. It was hot and humid. A lot of people coming in. Doors were being open, but there were places in the same center that was cool during that time. But on the floor, it was, not very good. Ambulances that was there. I've heard people overheating. And when you got into the mix, and I heard Joe, Dr. Exclusive, said this, you kind of forgot about the heat when you started getting into it, focusing on the hunt, so to speak. You kind of forgot about it. And even I did. The only thing, my backpack and other people spoke. I stopped wearing it. I just started carrying around bottles of water and going to get them refilled. And that leads me to my second issue, and that's a personal issue, was my back. My back the week before started killing me at work. Reached for a hand valve and put me down. But I think I have other issues other than back, and I'm getting that checked out. I've been feeling a lot better since I got home, taking care of some things. The guys I was with were super fantastic. And they'll tell, after Wednesday, I needed help getting out of a chair. That's how bad it was. Thursday, I was bad. And then I got better as the week went on. And the third thing, not a big thing, was our Airbnb's bathroom. Another place that was hot. It was no air conditioning in there. The toilet seat was so close to the door. I'm a big guy. I like my space. My bathroom in my apartment is not big at all. And that toilet seat would slide off. I almost had to tie myself down. So I just started going over to other places and using there. We were right next to several fast food restaurants and stuff. So I just started going there and using the bathroom. You got to do what you got to do. With my back hurting, I needed a place to, man spread. That's the only things. I'm trying to think. One minor thing was the parking situation, which they had fixed. They had beat on Saturday. Friday, I think, shocked them by how many people were there. I don't know how you're not prepared. This thing gets bigger and bigger every year just by the sheer number of dealers and uh, people shilling. That right there, I mean, they took up probably 90% of the hotels. That right there should tell you how many people are going to be at this thing, how big this show was. And it's hard to tell somebody how big this show was. It was huge. It was huge. Um, and then that this isn't like something I didn't like, and other people have said it. And I've been asking since I saw the floor map. Is there such thing as being too big? And I've been hearing a lot of yeses after the show. Before the show, I couldn't get a yes. They were happy. It was big, huge. I saw how they had the two areas for non-dealers, people shilling whatever items and stuff they were doing. Almost wish they would have just put all of those people over in that third new room with the autographs and just left them over there and put the dealers and everybody else in the other rooms. But I'm afraid they would have thought there would not been a mix, a break. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning was, how they set the floor up and then decided later to add the third, which is a possibility because at this show, they have where the dealers pick their tables for the next show and a lottery for the ones that are like the same year and all that. Because that's somebody asked like why are not all the vintage together? That because the dealers pick their tables. You'll when I go to Chicago, I'll see the same. When you walk in that main door, you walk in that first section, it's the same dealers in the same spots that they've always been in. I know exactly where to walk to get the X, Y, and Z when it comes to that first section. You just know. Now, I will say this. I'll add this into this. I don't know if we really need all the auction houses there. I mean, handing out their little catalogs at the show, having a desk area for people to interact with them, to ask how to, send in items. But to have a huge museum display there, it's nice and all, but I don't know. I mean, you can still have Babe Ruth back there for people to hold without having the rest of your collection for the next auction there. I just don't know if we need all of that there. And people were like, they don't even need, like, all these places don't need to be there. Well, it's a convention. It's not a show. It's a convention with a show. So you have to keep that in mind. And I don't know what the breakers are doing there. You can't, you still have to go online to get in the breaks. I don't know if anybody that was doing breaks, the only one that had a crowd around them was the Backyard Yahoos. The rest of them did not have anybody around them, and they have 3 or 4 TVs, and they're just talking to the internet. I mean, you can watch the break, but you have to go on the internet to buy into the break. People are like, well, they're pushing their channel or what their breaks, and I mean, I again, do we have to have a whole setup for them to do that? Have a breakers area where you're just having YouTube on or whatnot and showing different breakers on there. It's this with seating. It's the same thing at that point. I don't understand what they were there for. Since the first year I went, I was excited because I was like, oh, I'm going to really see how this breaking thing works and get into it. I was already getting into a little bit of breaking because then I could get, for $25, I could get into a case break for $50 and get all the Mets. That was a good way to get a large portion of Mets. Uh, but you go to the show and I'm just watching. I still get on the internet, um, and they and back then they just had tables. They didn't even have skirts on them, telling you who they were, or things like that. It's very basic. But anyway, I digress. That's just a couple of things. So one last thing, over where the autograph area was, there was a huge section that was just empty. And I said this in another video. They could have put tables there. And if they would have put tables there and invited the people to do trading in that area, you wouldn't have had the mess in the lobby where people couldn't walk around. I've been watching a lot of videos, and I walked through. Yes, I had to watch my step. I took pictures of it, which you probably saw at the beginning of this. I just don't know. Maybe that would help that, and really try to keep the lobby free for people to talk and catch up with each other, not laying out your whole cards and doing a trade night during the day. And I've heard a lot of people, oh, they had a trade night. Well, trading is part of the hobby. It's more of the hobby than doing breaks. I'm sorry. It really is. Trading, they're called trading cards. And I feel like that is much more part of the hobby than a lot of what was out there on the floor. So to have a place, an area for people to actually do trading and people can go sit down. It was hot in there. And, people have been saying that, and people that weren't there, I was soaking wet Wednesday when I left there. Not in a good way. I felt like I've been playing basketball and just nasty, felt nasty, and it just wipes you out. And it just sucks some energy out of you. Now, Mike O, he seemed like he didn't have much problem with it. Dave, Midlife Crisis, he's from Texas. He's used to heat. He even talked about it. But, when you're inside somewhere, you want to be not outside. And people were saying, oh, I couldn't keep up. Come on. There's a basketball arena in town that keeps up with more people in it than that place does. Ice hockey, they have ice hockey in an arena where they have to keep the ice frozen for people that don't realize that. So don't tell me the air conditioning in Chicago is sub-level for some reason. Yes, you might have to have special heating in the winter because it gets so darn cold, where people in the South might not have the same heating. But air conditioning is pretty much air conditioning. You might have to have more of it. And if that's the case, my God, look into it. Just look into it. Get it fixed. You have 2 years. Get it fixed. So now I'm going to get to my regrets part of this. I'm done about talking about that because actually, none of, as much as we talked about it, none of it stopped me from having a good time. My regrets, my number one regret is not being able to talk to people. And that was a lot to do with my back. I really wanted to talk to certain people. Some people I had very good conversations with. One person in particular, I was talking to on the floor. I don't want to say names because then it'd be like I was a snob. But if I tell you what was going on, this person would know who I'm talking about. We were talking about Gary Carter, about my registry, Johnny Bench. This guy's a huge Johnny Bench collector. Man, we had a great conversation on the floor. But I would have loved to extend that night at the show, at the YouTube. But it was just so many people there. And we all got in our little groups. And then you kind of broke out and got into other mixes. And, I talked to a lot of people. But there were several people. I'm going to drop one. Orlando, me and you kept making eye contact, I felt like. and we never could get to each other to have that conversation. That guy is one of the great, not only channels in this community, but uh, comments on live streams. He's everywhere. When you go on there, everybody knows who Orlando is. A collector's dream. This guy is awesome. That is one name drop I am gonna, and one other Canadian cards, Mike. I really every time I see him, I love to sit down and have a discussion with him. He's sent me some care packages that really meant a lot to me out of nowhere. And we had a very good discussion the first year we met, and I hope you watch this. And there are two guys that I wish I would have had more time, or just time with, and we'll have other shows, other times that I know that. But that's just a little bit of regret. A couple examples. I met some people that I've really been wanting to meet out. Just kind of just and I want to name drop again. IRP, Garrett, the card cutter. People that I really admire in the hobby and outside the hobby. Card cutters serve their country and other, and you have to. It's just how upbeat and everything. He's just so upbeat all the time, and he's been around a while and around the community. He does a lot of commenting and everything, and he's not just narrow in his collecting. I really like that. And IRP, if you don't know who they are, shame on you. Dave and Steve and Uncle Vinny. They're unique and fun to watch, and characters, and I really respect what they do, and really like meeting them. And I want to give props where props are due. I want to. Mike Moynihan, baseball collector. I went to his thing. The respect he has in our community is huge. They counted 250 came up there. I dare say it was more than that throughout the night. Every time I turned around, there was a new YouTuber or people that watched that just awesome turnout. And Mike, that's respect to you. And I'm with you. Not everybody all the time speaks kindly of Mike or think, but he does. He always talks about his inner circle, and he cares about what they think. And I call BS because he cares about this whole community. Admit it. You care what everybody thinks about you, Mike. And I think people speak out because you are one of the leaders in this community. And I want to say it, and people can poo-poo me all you want, but even the world shook when you and Amish Dave took a picture for the interwebs. And that's why I talk about us as a camaraderie. We could jab each other, we could talk about each other, we can say kind things about each other. I'm starting to tear up a little bit. Emo Scott, Carlos, sorry. But when we get together, it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood. It's I dare anybody outside our community to say anything. That's what's been great about this community, and I saw it there. I felt terrible not going Friday night to my housemate. Sorry, people. My housemate's thing with Filmington. Love Filmington. Filmington cracks me up. I would love to have him on my channel. That guy, his humor is dry. I get it. It makes me laugh. And, me and him don't collect anywhere alike. And he flips, and, you know how us collectors, but you know what? We all sell. I'm selling more and more now. That's what I don't think flipping is a negative term, but Filmington, I'm sorry I didn't get there that night. I stayed in. I did lives. I just my back, and I'm glad I did. That storm that we had, I was kind of glad to be in my apartment at the time. That night in Chicago. So that was that was also a regret. Not get to that part. I never have really FOMO over cards, and I still don't. I missed out on one card. I'd still have a little regret, but I wouldn't have been able to get something else that I got. Name it, and that would have been before I got that card, that picture right back there. So, um, that's they wouldn't have stopped me from getting that, but it would have stopped me from picking up one of my other cards. So it was a Johnny Bench. It was some meat packing, something in the Ohio area, a larger card. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I will get it on another day and another time. And again, the problem with this guy's stuff was the grades were too high. So, I just had to step away. So, that was one of my only, and it wasn't, like I said, not a regret, but I just wanted to throw that in because we all miss out. We all think about it later. But I'm so happy about what I got. This was a very good show for me. Very not quantity, but quality. And I need to do more of that in my collecting. And very focused. So I was happy with that. I stayed focused. Might have picked up too much wax, but I don't regret it. Let's see. What else do I regret? I don't know. When it comes for outside the show, not going somewhere, a sit down. Chicago's known for their beef and steaks. I wanted to go. I always go try to get a good steak dinner somewhere. And I didn't do that. I heard, who was it? I can't remember. I watched so many national shows on my drive back since I've been home this week. But it was good because now I know where we stayed at that casino right down the street. There's a steakhouse in there that sounds like it's pretty darn good. Maybe I'll have to hit that up in 2025. Because I've done Gibson's. Maybe I need to do it again, and I wasn't that excited about it. Morton's wasn't too far from where we were staying at. I've had Morton's before. Morton's is all over. We have one in Richmond. But that's my only regrets. That's high points. The show was a high point. The driving to the show with Mike was a high point. Picking up Wesker Griff and seeing that dude smile, his giggle when we pulled up to pick him up. Dave and meeting Mike Fabian, those two guys, just hanging out in the house with those guys, added that extra to that show that was more to the show than just the show. It was an experience all the way around. Being invited on lives, being on Retro Hoops Collectibles on Card Hedge, being on Carlos's show meant a lot to me. Doing the autographs for other YouTubers and people, that's such a fun thing. Victor, the kind words he said to me, which Victor, my brother from another mother, I like to support him. I think he's great for this community. He likes to mix it up some. I like that. Let's see other high points. I can tell you what, next time you go to Chicago, and less than the next 2 years, they build one in your area. Big Chicken. Big effing Chicken. Big Chicken is part owned by Shaq and two other guys. It was down there where we were staying at by near Giordano's. My gosh, for chicken sandwiches, I dare you to tell me a place that's better. You can go to Chick-fil-A all day long and get their little sandwich that they have. This place is it's Shack food. Big sandwiches, bowl tastes, fries, just every drinks, shakes, everything was off the hook. Just yeah, I said off the hook. I went way back, old school on you. I just that was amazing. Uh, I don't really hype on fast food, and I don't know if I want to call this fast food. It's fast comfort food, I guess. It's a kind of an in between. They had a line out the door at all the peak downtown, non-peak peak times. It was always packed. And man, Big Chicken. If you ever see that, go. Uh, Trying to think. We went to Portello's. Other people liked it more than me. Uh, you know, to me, it was okay to good, I guess. Didn't knock my socks off by any means. The first night we went, the lady was rude that was giving out the food orders. Uh, the next time we went, she wasn't there, but we went for dinner and then lunch and met some people there. So I got two different things. It is what it is. But it is a landmark destination place when you go to Rosemont. And we went to some sugar place and got a hamburger with macaroni and cheese on it, which was awesome. It was right behind. It's if you don't know the Rosemont area, or you do, it's that little all those food places on the other side of the parking deck from Rosemont, from the convention center. That was good. But the convention itself, for the size and the heat and everything, was still a high point for me. As crazy as that sounds, grading on site, all of that stuff. I think we could do a little bit less with the companies there. I agree with many people with that, but they're part of it. They help pay for it. I love the fact that it was very diverse. A lot of kids, families there together, and each person looking for their own stuff. I saw that multiple times. Mom, dad, kids, they were all looking for their own stuff. They all had little backpacks. Some of them had their own little boxes. Thought that was awesome. I think that's the first time that I've ever noticed that. I just thought that was awesome. And a lot more women there, more and more women every year. Not just crunchy old white guys, fat white guys like me. More and more diverse every year. I love it. Need more thought in anything we do. Hobby, work, life. More thought brings better decision making, more ideas to the table. Don't have to be good ideas, but that bad idea might lead to a good idea. Seen it done. It starts the thinking. I love that. So that was really a high point. And just walking the floor with people. I walked with several different people. I'm going to name drop. Seeing Stove. I haven't seen Stove since before COVID, the last Chicago show before COVID. Man, that was awesome seeing him and walking the floor with him and Bob Lewis. Watching them two be themselves was fun. And you get lost at the table. So I think we all separated from each other again, just looking and taking a turn and looking, and you just get separated. Me and Mike did that all the time. We hook up, we look at a few things. Oh, I saw this here. You might want to see it. And then next thing you know, you're back separated again. So I did that. So one thing I want to talk about is, did I stick to my plan? My plan is usually go early in the morning. That's why I get the VIP for that and to sit down. Especially in Chicago, there's nowhere to sit. I did take a stool, which I saw some stools there. That's starting to be a thing, more and more thing. So that's not a bad thing. But I didn't get early in the morning because of my back. It took me several hours to get it loosened up. Then by the time I got it loosened up, I just picked everybody up for lunch, and we went and got lunch. And then I walked the floor for a good 4 or 5 hours. Go sit down, walk. I didn't walk the solid time. I'd have to go sit down for a little bit. That was one of the things I hated about the show was the VIP room. The main one had Ludex or whatever presented, and it was loud in there. I didn't want to be part of that. I just like it quiet, chit chat to other collectors. We don't. I don't need that in there, and that's my old guy coming out in me. I didn't need that. So back, I digress. So I didn't really stick to my plan for what I wanted to do on the show floor, but I'm going to get to some more of that here in a little bit. I did stick to my plan of not buying anything, no cards until I bought the Carrie Fisher auto. So I stuck to that. I did get Mike Piazza, and I didn't go through any boxes. That was my plan, was Saturday and Sunday to attack boxes. Look for autographs. I decided I pretty much stayed in cases. I would look in the occasional box here and there when it said autographs or something, but it was tough for me in those to find guys I was looking for. If I'm going to look, it's going to be probably in boxes that have graded cards in it, or they're going to say value boxes and not dollar boxes, because that's where my PC is going to be at. But the way my back was feeling, I felt better moving instead of standing. When I stood still, it started feeling pressure and compact on my lower back. So walking, I felt better. So I couldn't stand in a one spot and just go through boxes. I had my stool, but I was afraid because my stool's a little low that I wouldn't be able to get back up. I would be sitting there calling people on my phone to help me up. And then it was so hot carrying that backpack I had to take it off. Even Friday, Saturday, when it started getting cooler, Sunday was damn near chilly in there. I just didn't stay with that plan. And picking up autographs and finding stuff like, my first downtown, I much rather have this stuff anyway for my collection. I could not find any PSA Johnny Bench graded player team playing time cards. Okay, can't speak this morning. It was tough finding that. I didn't really find any of that stuff. Can't answer that question if you ask me. Sure, it was out there. I just didn't hit the right tables. But I probably saw a good 75 to 80% of the floor. There was a part that I missed after reflecting on what parts of the floor. And I walked by it. I don't think I ever stopped to look. And I meant to on that Saturday. And time just got away from me. I waited late Saturday to get to the aqua carpet that was packed all day. Then I could walk around. Saw some stuff there. So didn't really stick to my plan 100%, but I stuck to it close enough, got what I wanted, was very happy. Plan moving forward because of that. I don't know if I need to be there the whole day. Now, I've done it in the past, not always. Usually during the middle of the day, it gets so packed in there. I don't like being in there. And also, I posed a question on my group chat. If they only gave out VIP passes for either Thursday or Friday, because it's so packed, either Thursday or Friday or Saturday and Sunday, which days would you get? And the two people answered was Thursday, Friday, which I expected because you want to be the first. I think I'd rather be there Saturday, Sunday. I'm looking for deals. Sunday, the dealers were relaxed. They made their nut. They were happy. They were just selling. They were selling mode on Sunday. And if you were selling, and if you were a seller and they were buying, they were in a buying mood. Sunday was very relaxed, and the dealers were there. They must have told them something because, and I didn't ask them. Shame on me. I was too worried about where the 2026 show was going to be at. And you know what? They could have it on the moon, and we're going to go. So I don't know why everybody's stressed out about it. Yeah, we're going to hate Atlantic City, the whole idea, but we're still going to go, and everybody's going to have a great time. Atlantic City sucks, but I had a great time in Atlantic City. Not because I was there because of the town. It's because we were there for the show and the people that we were with. That's what it's about. The town may suck, but the people we're with do not. So let's keep that in mind. Perspective, people. Perspective. So like I was saying, I think I'd rather be there more on Saturday and Sunday, and I want to be there longer on Sunday. So I think my next plans are to make sure I'm there pretty much the whole show Sunday. I wasn't going to drive next year to Cleveland, but I think I am. It's only a 7-hour drive for me. I can do that. I can go to the show all day and be home by 1 in the morning. I mean, that's fine. That's perfect for me. I rather drive. I like driving in later in the day. Traffic's lighter. After rush hour, traffic is light. And my route takes me. It's rural anyway. When I looked at it yesterday, it's West Virginia basically and Ohio. So I didn't even see any major cities on the way. I don't like driving through West Virginia because of the mountains, but I think I crossed the mountains pretty early, so I'm on the other side. But man, you're going to be in hills for almost the whole ride until you get up and more into Ohio, for darn sure. But anyway, yeah, I just think next year I'm going to go for the whole thing. But early on, I'm going to probably space my time out a little bit. I do want to go early in the morning. Early in the morning with the VIP really, really works. I didn't get to take advantage of that other than where to go sit. And the early floor plan I've seen in Cleveland before, they had a huge sitting area in front of the Ferris wheel. The floor all the way across. It looks like they're using that for all dealer booths this time. And if you went in on the general admission side like I did, it looks like you're walking straight into the door of the building, into the facility, into the show on that side. So that's just some things to think about for next year's show. I know when I was there, I already seen where they had the dealers were signing up for where to stay. Not saying all the hotels are already taken, but just something to keep in mind. And you might want to jump on the hotels before the National starts posting it, because they waited. Man, it was February before they posted up this year. I believe, and it was. I started looking by myself in October, talking to Dave, and I was like, I don't see any hotels, man. Everything's booked up. So we already have an Airbnb. We already put a down payment on one. So it looks like it's a good deal. So I think that's the way to go again next year, because I don't know where Mike's going to do his meetup. I don't know where Filmington's going to do his meetup. Live will be in the same place where YouTube just kind of did their meetup there's a video of the last Cleveland show with a lot of YouTubers, I think on Mike O's channel. So that'll probably be where it's at. But anyway, I'm trying to think what else for next year. That's about it. You know, things will change. We got a whole year. We'll start talking more about it when I get into 10 weeks next year. I'll do season 3, Road to the National. Man, I had a lot of fun this year. With all the back and hot, I just didn't care after the fact. The memories I have are great. Laughing. Some things that quotes. Just a good time, and the people I met, the friendships that that are growing. You know, I didn't get to speak to Eric those back pages. Me and him usually have a great discussion every year. I don't even know if I saw him on the floor. That place was so big. It's just, but usually at the meetups, me and him have discussions. Me and him talk about life outside of the card world, and I didn't even get that this year. So I have a lot of catching up to do with friends next time. That's what I got to look forward to. So if y'all have any questions about anything, any closing remarks on the National, my closing remark is, wow, memories, you know, every year just gets better and better, or at least different in so many ways. And I just can't wait for 2024. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend, and we'll see you.